Now that we have roughly a good view on our board, the first look, it's not necessarily like game ready or fully where it needs to be, but we have some good results and we can generate a bunch of ad boards right now. So it's time to make a digital asset from our setup. So select everything in the scene. We're going to go to assets and we're going to say make new digital asset. Then we're going to give this a name. Let's say, in my case, tutorial at boards, and click accept. Now there are a few parameters, of course, that we want to create in this menu. So here in the parameter menu, we can create custom interfaces. So we probably want to reference the file. So I'm going to grab the file and press apply. So now we can plug in different files, like if you are maybe working in a game that has like different biomes, and maybe you have like a file per biome. So you have different variations or whatever, or a different section of the game or different chapters. So maybe you have like different styles. So we can easily keep that separated with different files. We probably also want to here place the seed value. So place the seed and press apply. The size of the ad board itself. So we have here the X and the Y. So this is probably like, I think, length and height. So let's just do like length and height. Press apply. We can also take the rotation from these boards. So if you go to this node, I think it was, which is -5. So let's grab the rotation. So rotate board. And we probably want to reference this to that other part as well. I'm going to close this for a minute. So if you remember, we need to link this to the hinge here that I had. So I'm going to link this to that as well. So -5, so pasting this value. I think also here, since I don't have that system installed in before, in theory, we can also try to link the rotation here in that field if you want to tweak the rotation here as well. So it's up to you. So we now have a very basic menu. Maybe we want to keep it a bit more structured. So let's go to edit properties again. Maybe we can do some folder structures. So first folder, let's say this first folder is all about the text or the naming. So the naming or the store. So let's say store naming. And this is going to be mainly the seed value here. So here, seed value. Let's maybe do another folder. This one is all about the actual board itself. So board settings, which will be these three. Then we are going to have another folder. This could be focusing on like actual text fonts and so on if you want that. And then maybe one more folder. This is then maybe the data, and this is then the JSON file. So we now have all these tabs, but this parameter or this tool doesn't have that many sliders. I'm going to keep this into a simple folder. So every folder is going to be changed to simple here. So simple and simple. So if I press apply now, we have just like one big structure here. You can see that we also probably need to set better ranges for values. So our rotation should be from 0 to maybe, or it should go from 0, or it should go from like maybe -25 to 0. I think that's a better range here. And also from length, I think default goes from -1 to 1. So it should go from, let's say, 1 to 3. I'm gonna keep it safe for now, just 1 and 3 as well here. Later on, we can always like play around with this and test it more. We can always go back here, and I have nothing for the text for now. Let's go and see. So here we can go to the font. We can grab here our font and place it here in this. So this is like the store name. I'm going to say font. And here we have then the other font, which is then the slogan font. And for both of them, just press accept and apply. And then we have sort of like an override for that. We can also change the style here. I forgot about that as well. So let's go to here and let's grab this part. So going to here and let's say store, I don't know, maybe just mode or default mode. And we're going to create this a menu for it. So enable menu, and there will be 3 tokens. So 0 will be sort of like a straight line, so straight. 1 will be noise, and 2 will be more like an arch shape. And pressing apply. So now we have a nice menu here that we can choose from. So in theory, if we should go here, if we say should be noisy, we now have like this noisy curl. If it should be an arch shape, we have like a more of an arch shape. So we can make it a bit more fun, depending on the store. We can make it a bit more funny in shape. We can do the same thing for the text here as well, the slogan or the subtitle text. I'm going to duplicate this note. So I'm going to just Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V, and I'm going to place it at the bottom here. I'm going to rename this to like slogan mode, pressing apply. And we of course need to link this. So this is called now input number 1 and 2. So here you can see it's called number input, but we want to just of course say input number 2. And again, just press accept. And we should now be able to also here add some noises in there as well. So you can play around with that if you want to make something a bit more funny. Like, it's up to you to like maybe tweak this even better. And maybe you can add again more sliders and toggles. You can also just keep it pretty basic and standard like this. So this is my basic interface, and we can now quickly have variations. Now, something that I've not talked about is the different styles. So we can manually override the styles by exposing or creating a parameter to create 1, 2, 3, or 4. But if you remember from the data that we created here, we actually have the style number. So here on the attributes was style number 1, for example. So we can reference this back to this node. So we can create a null spare input. So here's spare input, and we can directly drag and drop the blast nodes in our spare input. So now they are linked with each other. So the only thing that we need to fill in here is getting the point data, so point attributes from spare input, which means -1. Then we have to say which point number, which is 0. Then the attribute was called style. So style, close that off, and index is 0. And that should now give us different styles. So here, if I now would play around with this seed value, we should now have different stores. So you can see also I probably here forgot to match this into the world. As you can see, it's at the center. So this is going to break the consistency of my tool. So I'm just going to simply do match size here. So I can do it in the network or outside here. Doesn't matter too much for now. So I'm going to set this to -. And now we have something that's consistent here. So you can like build custom overrides to like only change the ad board or the text. It's up to you. But this will overall work really nice. So this is now the base implementation and the base HTA to then build further. So in theory, I can drag and drop this into Unreal and generate something, but of course it's not going to be super optimized since the text itself here is also using polygons, of course. So we want to modify that as well. So that was it for this video. This one was a bit more quicker because we just wrapped this up into a small HTA, and next video we're going to do some more improvements and think about the game engine side of things.